Have you ever just stopped to think about it? How does a tiny, helpless baby transform into a complex, thinking, feeling young adult in just 18 years? It's one of the most incredible stories in all of nature, a total marathon of growth and change. Today, we're going to break down the key milestones of that amazing journey.
Right? It's the big question. How do we actually become us? From that very first breath to our first wobbly steps, from learning how to talk to learning how to think critically. How does it all happen? That's the core mystery we're exploring today.
And our journey has a pretty clear roadmap. We're going to kick things off with what I like to call the first-year explosion. And believe me, it is a wild ride. Then we'll dive into the walking and exploring phase. After that, we'll see how we get better at everything during the refining skills years. And we'll finish with the really big one, the adolescent rewiring of the teenage brain. But before we jump into year one, we need to understand the basic building blocks. You can think of these as the fundamental pillars that hold up the entire structure of our growth. And it all begins right here, with the microscopic star of our show, the neuron. This tiny cell is the foundation for every single thought, every feeling, and every action. It is the literal wiring that makes everything else possible. The sheer scale of this is just mind-boggling. You are born with about 100 billion neurons. To put that in perspective, that's more neurons than there are stars in our galaxy. All of that incredible potential is packed into a tiny brain, just ready and waiting to be wired up by experience. And those 100 billion neurons are working across 4 totally interconnected areas. You've got physical development, which is the growth of the body, brain development, the wiring of our command center, sensory development, which is how we take in the world, and motor skill development, how we move and interact with it all. The key here is that these aren't separate tracks. It's like a symphony of development with all the parts playing together at once. So let's jump into our first chapter and see this blueprint in action. The first year of life isn't just growth. It's a biological explosion. The rate of change in these first 12 months is faster than at any other time in our entire lives. The pace is just astonishing. I mean, can you imagine tripling your weight in a single year? Your vision sharpens from a total blur into a clear picture of the world. And inside the brain, billions of new connections are firing up, building the foundation for everything that's coming next. It's this rapid-fire development that takes a baby from completely helpless to mobile in just 12 short months. So now that our little human can move, a whole new world just opens up. This next stage is all about using that new mobility to explore, to interact, and to understand the world in a completely different way. And to really understand how complex this stage is, let's look at a task that seems super simple for a toddler, stacking a few blocks. Looks easy, right? But for their brain and body, it's actually an incredible developmental workout. This is where you can see those 4 pillars we talked about working in perfect harmony. First, the eyes see the block. That's sensory input. Then, the brain plans the movement. After that, tiny muscles in the fingers have to grasp it. That's a fine motor skill. And finally, the whole system coordinates to place it just right. It's this beautiful, complex dance of development happening in real time. Okay, so we've built the foundation and we've learned how to explore. What's next? Well, middle childhood is less about learning brand new skills and way more about making the skills you already have better, faster, and much more efficient. This phrase really captures the shift. The major construction phase is slowing down, and now it's all about optimization. Think of it like upgrading the software and fine-tuning the hardware that's already in place. And this refinement is happening everywhere. Motor skills, like writing or catching a ball, become almost automatic. Physical growth slows to a much steadier pace. But the most fascinating part is what's happening inside the brain. It's a process called synaptic pruning, where the brain starts to clear away unused neural connections. It's kind of like a gardener trimming a bush to help it grow stronger. By getting rid of the clutter, the brain makes the important connections way faster and more efficient. And that brings us to our final chapter, the teenage years. Now, this isn't just another stage of growth. This is a complete overhaul, a fundamental rewiring of the entire system, especially the brain.
This quote just describes it perfectly. It's not about adding more rooms to the house, it's about knocking down walls, changing the whole floor plan, and upgrading the electrical systems. The entire structure is being remodeled for adult life.
And this slide really shows that dramatic shift. The toddler brain is basically a storm of pure emotion and impulse. But during that teenage renovation, the brain's CEO, the prefrontal cortex, finally comes online. That's the part right behind your forehead that's in charge of logic, planning, and thinking about consequences. This biological upgrade is what drives that huge move from raw emotion to reasoned thought. And so, this is where everything comes together. The body has its final major growth spurt. The brain's higher-level reasoning centers are finally maturing. Motor coordination hits its absolute peak. The entire system, built over 18 long years, reaches maturity ready for the challenges of adulthood.
So, we've just traced the incredible 18-year journey of becoming you. Your biological foundation is set, the core construction is complete. The question now is, what are you going to build on it? What's your next milestone?